Hi everyone, I am here with
Andrew Christensen.
Christensen.
My father was Danish. I got a Danish name.
Know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
He has just, well, how do we start this? Because I got an email, I think from you,
Yeah.
maybe 4 or 5 months ago, in asking me if I was interested in participating because you are doing this big trip. You're sailing from the UK to, is it Ferrol or Coruña?
We sailed to A Coruña.
A Coruña, and then walked down to Santiago. So how do I start? Where did you get the idea to organize this? Because you have walked before, right? So you knew what the Camino was about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Camino's featured huge in my life. Going back many years, I've walked in several places. I've walked and I wanted to give back to the Camino.
Yeah.
In terms of this being as an idea, the origination actually was not mine. The originators were 3 men. They are part of the community of Confraternity of St. James. Mm-hmm. And they put in place the ship. In this case, it's the Morgenster. Mm-hmm. But the idea was to have a tall ship.
Is that a
community.
ship based in the UK?
No, it's out of the Netherlands.
Oh, I see.
So in terms of putting this in place, they had the ship contracted. Mm-hmm. And the dates were more or less to the day, exactly as originally contracted. And I put it simply, I think they were quite exhausted from putting together the arrangements for the ship.
Yeah.
And looked for volunteers from those who had an expression of interest in participating. At that time, it was an expression of interest. Mm-hmm. And I know that I was number 13 because I know the list was number 13. And I'm a superstitious person.
Yeah.
So number 13 on a ship is really, that's a bit kind of weird.
Yeah.
The Camino's given me an awful lot, and I wanted to give back.
Yeah.
And I picked up this booking of the ship, the Morgenster, and I wanted to make this a very special Camino.
Yep.
And to make it special, it needed to be something more than sailing. It needed to be a Camino.
Yep.
Camino.
So did this include a walking part in the UK before the boat, or was it taking the boat and then walking?
It included walking in the UK. Mm. And that was along a route which is called the Saints' Way, which it commences in Padstow, in the north part of Cornwall, mm-hmm. where many pilgrims in medieval times would have come from Ireland. They'd have landed in Padstow, walked the Saints' Way, got to a place called Foy. Mm-hmm. I'm pronouncing it Foy because that's how they speak down in Cornwall.
Yep.
No disrespect, but it's spelt F-O-W-E-Y.
Okay.
And in my ignorance, I'd always called it Foy.
Yeah.
But the Cornish people,
okay.
they corrected me very quickly.
That's good.
It's Foy.
Very good. And then you took the boat over. So I guess this, because I know you can walk in the UK, get your stamps, fly to Spain, walk the rest of the way from Ferrol or Coruña and get to Compostela. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
But you did, instead of flying, you took the boat.
We took the boat.
Yeah.
What is exceptional about this is in negotiating with the cathedral authorities, they give dispensation. And they gave dispensation. All we had to do was sail the ship.
Oh, I see.
And this was recognized as a pilgrimage route. It's in nautical miles, well, it translates as what you and I would call miles, about 800 miles of sailing. And that is exceptional. We were given dispensation.
Yeah,
we didn't have to walk anything. No. But for me, this was the sandwich filling between the walking there and the walking here.
How was the boat part? Because I know a lot of people are watching this and they've done Camino. They know what that was. But the boat, that's the news part with this Camino. How was that experience?
I'd say at a sailing level, incredibly easy.
Okay.
Incredibly easy.
Weather was good.
The weather. Well, the captain who, I won't name him, a beautiful man, said very specifically, I don't know how it is, but there's certainly upper management who are in favor of this as an undertaking.
Right.
Because the winds from the moment we set sail were absolutely filling the sails from behind and carried us just smoothly across the Bay of Biscay. An
That's
infamous bay
Yes.
for unpredictable weather.
Mm-hmm. That's why they call the area of the coast where Finisterre and Murcia is. It's called Death Coast, Costa da Morte, because the weather there could be pretty bad. But it seems like you arrived well, and everything went well. That's good.
It went very well. I cannot pretend that everyone enjoyed the sailing. There were certain characters who had seasickness from the moment
I can understand that.
right the way through.
I would have gotten that if I was on there. Yes, any type of rocking, and anyway,
you do this, Eva, and I'm telling you, a few days at sea, and one gets used to it. Back on land, it took me a few days before the land started to go smooth again, because every step of the way it was, I'm going like this, walking down the streets.
Yeah.
It's just weird, just weird.
That's great. So now you. So how did I guess on the boat you just waiting? I guess did you have activities? Did you do anything while you're on the boat?
Well, we were split into 3 watches because sailing the ship requires 24
You're
hours.
actually part of the crew. You're not just passengers.
We didn't get dispensation, Eva, for doing anything other than sailing the
So
ship.
you had to actually do the sailing. I mean, you work on the ship.
We
Yes.
had to do.
Okay, so 3 shifts. What did you do? What is involved in sailing a big boat like that?
Well, very little sleep.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, very little sleep. In terms of sailing, it's, the captain gives the orders, and this is fed down and needs to be implemented. There's some permanent crew, all of whom were delightful characters, delightful, wonderful. Youngsters, when I say youngsters, younger than me, quite a bit younger than me. And they explained with great patience to those who didn't know what was needing to be done. There were people on board who had prior sailing experience. I've got prior sailing experience. And there were some others, again, with sailing experience, who helped even it all out.
Good.
So lowering the sails, maintaining the course, which is the person at the helm, and just making sure that the course, as dictated, when I say dictated, as commanded by the captain, is maintained. When I say it was easy, we didn't have to do tacking, jibing, which means going there to take advantage of the wind that's going there.
And then cross over. Yeah.
None of it.
None of it.
None of it.
Oh.
We literally...
Just opened the sails and
that was it.
It took you there. Oh,
it was incredible.
That's nice.
The captain says he's never had a journey like that.
Oh.
I can say I've had prior, because I know this from my sailing log, more than 5,000 nautical miles, which is quite a distance. I've never done a trip like this.
Yeah. Wow.
I once set sail from Southampton, intending the captain wanted us to go to the Brittany coast, Cherbourg, and then the Brittany coast. We didn't do it. We ended up sailing up to the North Sea and going around North Denmark.
Yeah.
And then through the Kiel Canal. Completely the reverse. Completely the reverse of intended.
Yeah.
Prior to setting out, the big question from the people in A Coruña is, when will you arrive? When will you arrive? It's like, 10:47, the train's coming.
Yeah,
No, I said,
no, you don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, and part of the arrangements prior to our sailing were to do with our arrival in A Coruña.
Yes. Because I remember I saw you on TV. I was at my father-in-law's house, and then in Galician TV had cameras and something. Suddenly I saw you. Like it was at the news, or it was some program, yeah. And I thought, I remember these people. I think he emailed me a few months ago. Yes, so
That's me.
I'm happy they arrived. Yeah. So that's good. So you said you made a. Did you make a passport, Camino passport for this?
Well,
trip?
I designed this. It's based upon the passport issued by the Confraternity of St. James. So it sort of picks up elements from the CSJ passport.
Oh, and
I adapted it.
So you have your trip starting in the UK, then you have the boat.
The boat is the kind of... This is the sandwich, the outer level, and the outer level, and this is the filling.
Yeah.
The ship, and the space here for the cathedral, space there, confirming completion. But all of this relates to stamps picked up along the way. Even if you hold
Very
that, I
nice.
can pick up on this.
Yes.
It is beautiful, and the centerpiece, because this is the centerpiece. This is what makes this particular Camino so
Special.
exceptional.
Yeah.
The Morgenster,
Yeah.
and she, you know,
Do you know anything about the boat? Can you tell us about the boat? Anything? I don't know much about boats. How big is it?
well, we were 36 participant crew,
Yeah.
and then there were 7 permanent crew, captain included,
Yeah.
a cook, and then it's five
So
others.
it's a big boat.
It's a big boat.
Big boat.
We were, I think, at the maximum in terms of what it's permitted, what it's licensed to carry.
Mm-hmm.
I think given the nature of our participant crew, it was too many. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
I slice and dice numbers. So we were a total combined age of the 36 at 2,245 years.
Okay.
Average age, 67 years and 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
The eldest was 85. The youngest at 24.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the youngest was also one of the more mature ones.
Okay.
I'm going to say that.
That happens.
There were people on the ship who had prior experience sailing. Most did not.
Mm.
There were people who had experience of caminos.
Yeah.
Most did not. Those on board, though, what they had very much in common was a desire to participate at some level.
Mm-hmm.
To bring this together as a cohesive group, I'm going to say it was a personal challenge.
Mm.
Not all shared the desire for that cohesiveness, that connectivity,
Yeah.
that collectivity, and that requires cooperation. For me, there's a lot of C's, Camino, and that includes community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big thing for me, the Camino community, to feel the passion,
Yeah.
to feel
That's
the
true.
passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I call it Caminoitis. I picked
Yeah.
up Caminoitis years ago.
And you're not well yet.
I'm not well yet because the only cure is to put on the boots,
Yeah.
put on the mochila, the backpack,
Yeah.
and get out
And
again.
Get out walking.
Um,
And you're doing a documentary as well, or documenting the whole experience.
well, I'm not going to claim it's me who's doing it.
No.
It's someone, Glenn Travis.
Yes.
He came on board, I guess, late January, only because another place got freed up.
Anyways, so there is a documentary that we were filming. They came into my office and did a little bit of filming. It looks like I'm going to be in it
You are.
for a few minutes at least. So that's coming out. He was saying maybe next year sometime.
I think that Glenn is going to have difficulty putting this together.
Oh yeah,
It's not anything other than the amount of
Yeah.
material
He has
is
a lot of
enormous.
It's a lot of material.
There's a lot of material.
Yeah.
There's UK, little elements, along the Saints Way. We weren't just staying in any old place. We were staying in churches.
Yeah.
So, among my privileged moments for sleeping in the belfry of St. Clement's Church in Withiel,
Yeah.
below the bells.
So that sounds amazing. It sounds like a good experience. Like nice atmosphere and build community among the people that were walking. Hopefully,
I think, without doubt, there's a lot of memories
Yeah.
that people are going to go home with.
Yeah.
Whether at average age 67 and 3 months, most people enjoyed sleeping on the floor for church is another story.
Yeah. That's true. Now, for those listening to this and watching this and thinking, I would like to do a trip with a boat. I would like to do this. Are you doing this again?
I cannot say this won't happen again,
Okay.
and I'm not going to say this is happening on these dates. The level of interest is enormous, Eva.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say, well, you know what it's like. There's an awful lot that has gone into
A
this
lot of work.
undertaking.
But now you've done it once. Next time, if you do it another time, it's going to be not the same amount because now you know a little bit more what to expect and how to do it. I'm thinking. Maybe not. Or what do you think?
I like the idea of this becoming a repeated event, but it would be repeated only in respect of the ship.
Yeah.
When I say that, it's impossible to recreate. It is the same as walking the Camino.
Yeah,
One cannot
that's
repeat
true.
the Camino.
That's
Another
true.
experience comes along.
No.
I would say that for my part, the person I've walked with in the past is my daughter. And with Pia Isabella, she's an incredible Camino companion. We walk in a very similar way. We can have the space of silence and enjoy that silence. There's a whole Camino language between us, and we understand that. Amongst a group of 36 on board the ship, it's very difficult to get that same cohesiveness.
That's true. It's too big of a group, yeah.
It would have to be, again, I'm going back to my desire was very much about gender balance. So we were 17 females and 19 males out of the 36. Dog.
But it doesn't sound like you definitely not would, because I guess the part of this walk and this trip and this experience that it would be someone like you or someone that knows how to do it. The bit that is missing is the boat bit, because walking the walking part people could do kind of almost on their own, and they could just meet on the boat and then decide who they want to walk with when they arrive in Spain, and then walk the rest.
I like the walking element in the UK.
Yeah.
Then put together with the sailing element.
Yeah.
And then walking here.
Yeah.
If I was to have a vision of something that would really grab me, it's more than one ship. 2 ships at the same time. Sailing, not in competition.
Yeah, yeah.
But as a complementary.
As a group.
I like the idea. I like the idea.
Does this project, this whole sailing and walking bit, does it have a website? Is there a...
There isn't.
No, okay.
Even, it would save my life. Hours and hours of my life if we had it.
If people wanted to know more about your experience and see pictures maybe, and where would they go? Do you have a...
That's a very good question.
There's no place. All right.
Contact me via, I don't know. I mean, I've had a message today. I did the oration at the cathedral yesterday. And it seemed to have landed. When I say seemed to have landed, I got stopped in the street many times yesterday.
Oh, good.
Oh, you did this, and I really liked it. How can you?
Yeah,
I mean, there were 2 priests from the United States who stopped me. It had already left my hand by the time I was picking my papers up, because actually another priest from the United States said, "Can I have that? I want to read it to my congregation when I get back to the United States."
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming by and telling us about your story and your Camino. And I don't think I'm going to have another one like this where I have someone that took the boat from the UK to Spain and then walked it. This is the first, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen again unless you do it again next year.
Eva, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And after all these years, I'm finally going to say publicly, my apologies. I've been calling you Ivar for years.
No, it doesn't matter. Ivar is fine. Ivar is fine. So anyway, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Okay.
Been a great pleasure.
Thank you.